The Supreme Court has released its full verdict on the infamous Tikapur incident, where it had upheld the life sentence declared by a district court and a high court for the mastermind Resham Chaudhary. Releasing its full statement in the case, the apex court has branded the amnesty given to Chaudhary as a breach of constitution, since the verdict had earlier termed the nature of Chaudhary's crime as inhuman, heinous and unimaginable. The latest episode only adds to a series of conflict between the executive and the judiciary. Good evening, I'm Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. 133 local levels across the country without chief administrative officers. Record of financial transactions to service delivery affected. President Ramchandra Paudel gears up to call the all-party meeting aimed at easing the parliamentary blockade. Pressure mounts on the UML not to keep the parliament as a hostage. Civil Aviation Authority lifts the ban on flying to remote places after 12 noon, operating pilot to have the final say on weather and air safety. And 6 nations participating in the South Asia Regional Junior Badminton Championship that kicks off tomorrow in Kathmandu. Various events under the age group of 15 and 17 to be played. President Ramchandra Paudel is preparing to call for an all-party meeting to end the stalemate at the federal parliament resulted from continuous obstructions by the main opposition, CPN-UML. The main opposition has been obstructing both the House sessions since 26th of July, demanding for a high-level committee to probe into the gold smuggling scandal. The President's Secretariat has said the all-party meeting is likely to be called for Sunday coming week. Prior to that, President Paudel will hold discussions with Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal, Nepali Congress President Sher Bahadur Dewa and Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal, among others. The President has already held separate meetings with Lower House Speaker, National Assembly Chair and CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli. The main opposition, CPN-UML, has been obstructing the parliament since 26th of July last month, demanding a high-level probe committee to investigate the gold smuggling scandal. The government had urged the main opposition to observe more restraint, saying that the Central Investigation Bureau CIB of Nepal Police had been investigating the case. However, UML has been raising questions on the state mechanism. Various issues of public concern have remained ignored due to UML's obstruction at the parliament. The parliament has been rendered ineffective in the face of the ongoing blockade. This is not the first instance of CPN-UML's obstruction at the parliament. Prior to this, the main opposition had obstructed the parliament for 6 months. The parliament failed to formulate required laws after CPN-UML tried to dissolve the parliament on 2 occasions and obstructed the parliament for months during the previous term. The party has obstructed meetings of both the houses on several occasions within the 7 months of the second term of the government, giving way to doubts over party's commitment to parliamentary practice. And in this context, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked people in several provinces what should be done to clear the obstruction at the federal parliament. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
यो संसद भनेको राज्यलाई निकास दिने, नीति निर्माण गर्ने, कानुन बनाउने, थलो यसलाई अनिर्णयको बन्दी बनाउनु हुँदैन।
सबैलाई राखेर गोलमेज सम्मेलन गर्नुपर्छ।
राजनीतिक दलका मान्छेहरू आपसमा चाहिँ अनि गएर बैरभाव नगरेर एक ढिका साथ अगाडि बढे यहाँ सबै कुरा हुन्छ।
यसलाई हल गर्नको निमित्त प्रतिपक्षका साथीहरूले सदन खोल्नुपर्छ।
दलहरूले आफ्नो स्वार्थ भन्दा माथि उठेर सबैजनाले आफ्नो ठाउँबाट आफ्नो भूमिका निर्वाह गर्नुभयो भने
यो त संसद अवरुद्धलाई हटाउन सभामुखले आफ्नो ठाउँबाट रुलिङ गर्न पर्ने हुन्छ।
पहिला सभामुखसँग के सोच हुनु पर्यो भन्दा म कुनै पनि पार्टीको नेता होइन भन्ने सोच राखेर त्यसमा इनिसिएसन लियो भने संसद खोल्नलाई सहज पुग्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मेरो विचारमा।
संसदमा प्रतिनिधित्व गरेका दलहरूले दलीय एजेन्डालाई एक ठाउँमा राख्दै राष्ट्रिय स्वार्थमा केन्द्रित भएर सुझबुझका साथ संसद खुलाउनुपर्छ।
कुन तरिकाले हुन्छ के कुरामा विवाद भएको त्यो सब मिलेर छिटोभन्दा छिटो संसद खुलाउनु पर्दछ।
संसद अवरोध गर्नेहरूले संसदको मर्मलाई बुझ्नु पर्यो।
ठुला दलका नेताहरू सँगै बसेर आपसी सहमति गरी अवरुद्ध संसद खुलाउँदा राम्रो हुन्छ।
शीर्ष दलका नेताहरू चाहिँ आफैमा जिम्मेवार रहनुपर्छ।
जनताको हितको लागि भए पनि संसद सबै राजनीतिक दल मिलेर खोल्नुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो धारणा छ।
विभिन्न बहानाबाजीमा पक्ष प्रतिपक्षमा रहनुभएका सांसदहरूले पनि यसलाई चाहिँ बहाना बनाएर अवरुद्ध गर्न मिल्दैन।
राजनीतिक पार्टीहरूको निश्चित स्वार्थभन्दा माथि उठेर छलफल गरेर
दलहरूले आफ्नो स्वार्थ त्यागेर यो अवरोध चाँडै खुल्नुपर्छ।
त्यसको केही समाधान हुन्छ, त्यसमा तपाईहरु आपसी सल्लाह सुझाव निकालेर
जनतालाई हेरेर हामीहरू संसद अवरोधलाई रोकौं।
संसदमा अवरोध हुनुको जुन पनि बाटो आइरहेछ त्यो सबै पार्टीहरूको प्रमुखहरू मिलेर
जनताको पीडा के कस्तो छ त्यो बुझेर त्यो सांसद एकदम चलाउनु पर्छ।
As the country entered federal structure, it was expected that the power centered in the administrative hub Singadarwar will be distributed to the rural villages. However, 133 local levels out of a total of 753 local governments are without chief administrative officers. The scenario has affected the financial transactions along with impacting the service delivery. 28 rural municipalities and 13 municipalities in Sudur Paschim province are without the services of chief administrative officers. People's representatives from districts including Bajura, Acham, Darchula, Kanchanpur and Boitari in the far west had come to Singadarwar on a number of occasions, urging the central leaders to fill the vacancies. Likewise, Karnali province is without chief administrative officers in 22 rural municipalities and 13 municipalities. 2 rural municipalities in Madhesh province are without chief administrative officers, while 22 in Koshi province, 16 in Bagmati province, 9 in Gandaki and 8 in Lumbini are without chief administrative officers. Meanwhile, the leadership at the stakeholder Ministry of Federal Affairs and General Administration has remained unstable. The newly appointed Minister Anita Shah has said that she would take some time to understand the modus operandi of the ministry she leads. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we'd asked you, why has the government effort to control the spread of dengue not been effective? 59% voted for option A, lack of coordination, 10% for B, inadequate human resource, and 31% for C, lack of awareness. Here's today's question. Why have local bodies continued to face the vacancy of Chief Administrative Officer? Your options are A, indifferent center, B, unwilling employees, and C, lackluster municipality. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. We'll take a short break here. More news coming up. High Court Patan has directed to present all 10 writs related to the Bhutanese refugee scam at once, including the one involving suspended Secretary Teknarayan Pandey. A joint bench of Justice Du Hari Prasad Podel and Kiran Kumar Pokhrel directed to present all the cases as law practitioners mentioned during a hearing today of the writs filed by former Home Minister Balkrishna Kand, former Deputy Prime Minister Tobadu Raimaji, among others. Hearing on the writs filed by suspended Secretary Pandey, former lawmaker Angtawa Sherpa, among others, against the Kathmandu District Court's decision to keep them in judicial custody had been called for today. 15 defendants have filed writs at the High Court, claiming that the Kathmandu District Court's decision was faulty. Coalition partner CPN Maoist Centre is kicking off a 3-month door-to-door campaign from the 3rd week of August with an aim to reform the government and the party. The campaign, the party believes, will improve its tarnishing image among the general public. Ironically, the party has remained silent even with its leaders being alleged of serious crimes. Vice Chair of the party, Krishna Bahadur Mahara, has been alleged of involvement in the gold smuggling scandal, while the party is yet to issue any statement, even to reject the allegations. Maoist Centre, that was once at the helm of the national politics, has seen its popularity decline in recent time. The failure to take action against leaders involved in serious crime has further dented the party's image. Mahara first entered mainstream politics, having won the general election from Rolpa in 1991. During the decade-long armed conflict, Mahara assumed various positions in the party and even played the role of coordinator for the peace process. He also grabbed the role of member of the interim parliament and eventually took charge of the Ministry of Information and Communications. He won the first Constituent Assembly election in 2007 from Dang. When party chair Pushpa Kamal Dahal became Prime Minister for the first time, he was appointed the Ministry of Communication, Information once again and also became Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister. In 2016, Mahara was once again appointed Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister and then took the role of Speaker of the House of Representatives a year later. While at the lower house, he faced sexual allegation and spent 5 months in prison. However, his party refrained from taking any actions. It may be recalled Mahara had already been engulfed in a phone scandal where he could be allegedly heard demanding 5 million rupees from Chinese sources. Despite all these controversies, Mahara has remained at the limelight of the party. The District Court Kathmandu has directed the government attorney to authenticate the age of minor victim's mother in the alleged rape case involving cricketer Sandeep Lamichhane. The hearing on Sandeep Lamichhane's case resumed earlier today. However, the single bench of Justice Rajakumar Khatiwara directed the government to clarify on the birth date of the victim's mother, citing that 2 different dates had been registered. In the documents presented at the court, 2 different birth dates of the victim's mother have been mentioned, with 20 years of disparity. The hearing had been halted as Lamichhane was allowed to play the World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe. Lamichhane has been accused of raping a minor at a hotel in capital's Gaushala. Hearing on the case has been delayed despite the Supreme Court's order on the 27th of February to conclude the case at the earliest. He was earlier held in the judicial custody for investigation, however was later granted bail of 2 million rupees. Sandeep had gone to Zimbabwe to participate in the World Cup qualifiers following the Supreme Court's verdict. It's time now for another break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time now for the sports update.
Sports news.
6 nations are participating at the South Asian Regional Junior Badminton Championship beginning from tomorrow in Kathmandu. The tournament is being jointly organized by Badminton Asia and Nepal Badminton Association. There are 2 categories under the age group of 15 and 17. A number of disciplines including boys single, girls double, girls double, mixed and team events will be played. The tournament is being played at the APF's covered hall, Halchok. 56 players from Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives and Pakistan are participating at the championship. Nepal has fielded 16 shuttlers, while the 5 participating nations have sent 8 players each. That is all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.